All right. Hey guys. Here we go with the second Wednesday's lesson of the day today on Thursday. I started the first one and we got cut off because my very good friend was calling me on the phone and then the audio got cut off. The gist of it is I started it out with a hair flip. As you can tell, it didn't work out so well. And started getting into brow lifting and how frustrated I am with brow lifting. At the same time, I also said I'm making this video specifically to keep our friends over in the Middle East entertained. Because if you're aware or not, there is a war going on over there, and every friend I have in every country over there is affected. And they are all either staying inside or bunkered down. And hopefully you have a little extra stuff to watch as this things unravel. Let me clean myself up over here. Okay, let's get into it. The point I wanted to make is that brow lifting is very, very confusing. And this is confusing for patients and for surgeons. And if something is confusing, you have to think, well, maybe something just isn't right. And in this case, a lot of things are wrong. And this is what I lecture about, and it's really difficult for people to let go of their foundational understanding of something, even if it was wrong. And this goes in this situation in world politics as well. They don't really understand the region. They were taught the wrong things by the wrong people, and they believed it because everyone else believed it, but it doesn't mean it was true. So to bring this and tie this into our reality of brow lifting, it's the wrong name. And it is very misleading, and the foundational understanding is completely incorrect. So here's what I'm talking about. Here's the brow. The brow is some hairs, these guys, on top of some skin, on top of some soft tissues. Okay, we call that the periorbita. Now, as you age, it goes from here down to here. But this is distracting everyone. It's just a line of hair. It's really your whole scalp that's aging. So your whole scalp starts out over here and then comes down and medializes like this. So you get this rotational change around your ear as the face rotates down like this. You can see around the ear, you see those little lines. This comes and sits on this junction zone. I'm too perfect to even push it down. But you can push down here. You can see that junction zone, which is right over there that the brow falls onto, and the medial scalp as well falls onto. So this is what happens with age. And what we need to do is reverse aging. So you have to figure out what direction it came from, what areas are affected, which is the whole thing, what plane it happened in, and reverse that and fix the volume. This is how you fix aging. This is how you actually do this thing that we would call a brow lift. And I'm here to tell everyone it's not a brow lift. Okay, this is an ocean of issues. An ocean of drooping on the temple, on this area, on that area, the whole scalp all the way across. It's an ocean. You don't just go look at the shoreline. You look at the entire ocean. And the ocean is falling onto the shoreline. But as you know with tsunamis, they push down onto the shoreline, they go back. They push down, they go back. Okay? This is how we actually have to treat this and stop looking at it as a brow lift. You have to not just zoom into this one little area, which is what they're doing. You have to look at the entire picture, which is all of this. So it is not a brow lift. A brow is just an indicator line. It's a line of hairs. That's all it is. It's really a scalp resetting or scalp restoration. That's what you're trying to do. Move everything back into position, and the shape of the brow line that you're so worried about that did this with age because you're compensating with this frontalis muscle ends up straightening out again. And three-dimensionally comes this way, and it has to go back out there. So it even stretches to the side of your head again versus kind of coming towards the anterior part. Now, how is the foundation so wrong? How is it so wrong for so long? It's because in the 80s, these so-called scientists, they said, you know what? To hell with this person's face. I don't care how they aged. I don't care where their aging came from. I don't care what plane it happened in. I don't care what areas it's treating. Let me look at some supermodels. So they looked at some supermodels, and they took, this is in the Cindy Crawford realm of Linda Evangelista, Cindy Crawford, Naomi Campbell, Angie Everhart, and they looked at their brows, forgetting the whole scalp, just looking at the brows, and they came up with this idea or concept that this is how you make someone else pretty, is you look at a supermodel's eyebrows, and you go and paste it on somebody else's head. And they came up with all these mathematical equations that they found from analyzing supermodels. And they'd say, well, I can measure a line from your nose to your brow, that's where the arc is. I can measure a nose from the eye to the canthus, that's where that is. I can go from the corner of your mouth up, that's where that's supposed to be. So they made these fake equations and then presented it to the world as though it were science. And it is absolutely not science. It's some random dude with no understanding of anatomy, no care for anatomy, actually. It doesn't give a shit where the aging actually happened, and just wanted to go artistically alter someone's face. And so they would take one person's anatomy and try to effectively apply it to someone else's face. And when you do this, you end up in this wide world of disarray and confusion, because some people look surprised because you went too vertical, some people look exaggerated up this way, they look evil, some people rotate, some people do this. They have all these procedures invented because they didn't know the reason or what they were actually trying to achieve. So they came up with a multitude of procedures, when in reality, the scalp came down, scalp just needs to go back, area needs to get revolumized, and that's about it. In rare cases, someone has an ugly brow to start with, so you could do a direct brow lift, which is a direct advancement from right over there. And that's it. So what is a proper procedure? A proper procedure is you look at the volume in what we call the periorbita, which is all the layer 4 and partially layer 2 in this area around the eye, and you want to reinflate it. If you look at some hairs, the hairline or the hairs themselves, you'll notice that they get into a little disarray as you get older. They kind of go in this direction, that direction, that direction. They look kind of fuzzy or not as clean. That's because of the deflation in that area, loss of fat, loss of volume. So you want to reinflate this area first. That'll give you your projection and cushioning, curvature. Instead of concavities, you have convexities. And then you take all this scalp that had drooped down onto this junction zone of your face. You see this junction zone, right? It separates the upper third from the lower 2/3. That junction zone, that can't go lower than that. So you just take the weight off of it. That's all you're doing. And the brow shape itself recovers, goes back to what it was. The temporal laxity improves, which effectively improves your orbicularis and zygomaticus function, because these are all part of one unit. The platysma and your mouth are part of one unit. The frontalis, TP fascia, orbic, and zygomaticus are part of this other unit. So they all function together. So when you do a temporal resetting or restoration, as you move everything back over here, you get correction of the medial portion, which is the medial forehead and brow. You get correction of the lateral, and you get correction of the temporal. So all of this gets corrected when you reset the scalp. Now, why is it such an exaggerated change with age? It's because of the volumetric deflation, and because the back of your head is bigger than the front of your head. And so if you go from this big surface area where the skin is supported to a smaller surface area, even by a centimeter, that's a centimeter, you get major changes because of the crowding which occurs. And all you need to do is make a little poke hole somewhere, get in there to release all this stuff, release back over here, so you can grab everything and put it back into position. Now you get relaxation of the brows, relaxation of the appearance of the eyes, rather than what you see with improper vertical lifting in the direction of surprise, is you look surprised and stupid. And this is why patients are so rightfully afraid of doing brow lifting, and you should be. I want everybody to stay scared of brow lifting. If you have somebody who focuses on your brow, you've got a good chance of looking weird. They'll come up with weird procedures where you do an arc of rotation, you change this, you change that. You're trying to alter the dynamic and the shape of someone's face, even though it didn't come from there. And ultimately, your goal is to restore in most of these procedures. Now, even on a younger person, there could be an argument that, well, it just doesn't look that pretty. Maybe it'll look better on a younger person. Well, guess what? For the most part, on younger people who do have this kind of droopy, heavy area, when you do the same procedure, incision back over here, release everything, reset it into where it used to be, it's going to look prettier and nicer anyways. You don't need to change the shape. There is a small subset that does have a downturn or a downturn over here that can use a direct lift. So you do a direct excision of skin, advance the hair upwards, now you change the shape of the brow. That's all you need to do, and some volume. So the volumization is pretty amazing what it can do, and this is an essential part of periorbital, not just brow, entire periorbital restoration. Lower forehead, you see, like women especially, they end up looking prominent here, indented here, heavy here. You can fat graft this area very safely and nicely if you're good at it with microfat. Do the under eye at the same time. This area over here loses its height with age because this area loses volume, so it looks shorter, and that's it. So don't call a brow lift if you can avoid it. It's hard to because it's fixed within us, but just realize that when someone does say brow lift, they should actually be looking at the entire ocean, not just this little tiny shoreline of hair. You fix the problem. Don't make up your own weird psycho stuff.